All right, Jake, Ava, a first, a fan, the final two, the first season of Survivor Syracuse, fans versus first. I'm happy to have you guys here as the final two. I can't wait until Tuesday, where the power moves to the jury, as they will decide who will be the first winner of Survivor Syracuse entire first season. That's all I have for you guys. Thank you.
I don't know what this is.
It's Survivor. No, we have to wait for that. We need to wait for the. Wait.
Get to the part. The winner's in this fucking car!
I will survive. Keep on surviving. Hello. This is my final vlog of Survivor Syracuse Season 1. So, let's make it official. Tribal Council is in a few hours. I'm stressed. I'm actually gonna put this away because it's like a lot. Maybe I'll leave it here for aesthetic. Maybe we'll do ASMR. Not like it's on or anything. But I've been preparing my notes, my statements. I'm really nervous, yeah. I'm not gonna lie, I'm really nervous. I mean, I kind of have the mindset where whoever wins, wins. If Jake wins, I'm gonna be so unbelievably happy for him. He deserves this, even though we do end up flaming each other tonight. Here I am before Tribal, not in my heated state, and I will say Jake deserves this. Jake is an insane player. He loves the game. This has been his dream. So for that reason, I would love for him to win just so his dream comes true. But I'm not gonna go easy on him. I'm still gonna give it my all. I think the odds are maybe a little bit stacked against me. I know I'm Sean's vote, but I don't know who else's vote I have. But I really don't know how this evening is gonna go. I'm just trying to keep an open mindset. I'm trying to just stay calm. I have a tendency to get very nervous before presenting and before tests. I'm that person who is always freaking out minutes before an exam, similar to when I have to do stuff like this, especially because I know people are gonna get a little spicy. Julia Kelly is probably going to I would not be surprised if lasers came out of her head and burned through both of us. I love her, she's my roommate, she's my best friend, but I think that with stuff like this, she's definitely gonna get heated. I don't think any of them are gonna hold back. So to say the least, I'm nervous. I just think that what scares me the most is not the idea of losing, because if I lose, that's fine. I mean, I'm so proud of myself for even making it this far. I think what scares me the most is getting a question that I don't know how to answer and then looking stupid. because it's going to be a question out of left field. I don't know. I'm also scared it's going to be specific questions about the game because I feel like Jake knows that really, really well. He's a nut. He made a Google, in the best way, he made a Google spreadsheet of when everyone got eliminated and who voted for who, and I bet he's studying that. I love him. I love him. I would not be upset if he won, but I still want to win. Yeah, I want to win really badly, but if it doesn't happen, it's fine. I'm just really grateful that I met all of these incredible people this semester through this game, and I've just loved playing it. I've loved just finding out new parts about myself and reflecting on how I am as a person, as a people pleaser, and seeing my growth through this game. I'm just really, really proud of myself and really proud of the friendships that have come out of this. So no matter what, win or lose, I just am so grateful for this entire experience. And Jake, if you're watching this, I love you. I'm so happy we're friends. And good luck tonight. And to the jury, I love you guys too. I know you're gonna roast me. I know. I'm just I need to be ready. I need to power pose. Have you guys seen that about power posing, where if you go like this and power pose, you're more likely to do well? That's what I do before my public speaking class. Did you hear that crack? Did you hear my leg crack? Holy crap. Whoa. Yeah, so I'm nervous, but I mean, I'm kind of at the point where I don't know what they're gonna ask, so I shouldn't fixate on all of the possibilities of what it could be if I don't know. And I mean, I think that what I'm just gonna do is be myself and be as honest as possible, because I think that that's what the jury's gonna respect. So if a tricky question gets hurled at me, I'm just gonna be honest. I'm not gonna try to talk myself in circles and go around the issues. But yeah, I guess to the viewers, thanks for watching season 1. I'm so happy you made it this far. I mean, we're so many episodes in, but even if you're not a fan of mine, I appreciate you watching this because it means so much to Luke and it means so much to everyone who's been a part of it. So it's been a blast. Thanks for watching. Wish me luck. I'm probably watching this from Italy in a few months. I'll go to the beach, Ava. Live your best life. This is gonna be weird watching myself. This just got awkward. I'm sorry. I prefer group vlogs because I get kind of awkward when I'm just by myself. I like people a lot. I'm really extroverted. Ooh, someone text me. Okay. But yeah, thank you so much for everything. This has been fun. This has been the best of times and the worst of times, and I will see you at jury. AvaCon out.
It still hasn't fully set in for me. Even when it was happening, I was just kind of in awe about what was going on. I freaking beat Sean DePaz. I'm in the final 2. I went the whole game without getting voted out. After almost getting voted out freaking first, I'm in the final 2. I'm blown away. This journey for me has been insane. And to have been the one to take the sword and just slay that dragon that was Sean DePaz, it felt so good. He put up a great fight. His last speech was really good about it, taking the best player, but it also just confirmed what I had to do. It just confirmed he is such a good talker and so smart and such a strong competitor that I couldn't bring him to the end. And he said it would be waltzing into an easy win, which I hope is the case. I truly do, but I'm definitely nervous. I need to bring my A game tomorrow. Tomorrow is Final Tribal Council, and I'm nervous. But at the same time, I'm confident in the game I've played. I'm confident that what I did should give me the win. Does the jury feel that way? I don't know, but it's my job to make them feel that way. Ava played a strong game. There's no denying that. She's at the final 2 with no votes ever cast against her. But I don't think that fact alone should be a reason that she should win. Ava had less control than I did. She was safer. She had a game that involved less risk. But I feel like the jury might respect the risks I took and the way that I controlled votes and made the game follow the narrative I wanted it to take. People went home because I pushed for them to go home. Ava, I cannot fully say that about. She had times where she did, but every single round, things went the way I wanted them to go. Ava, they didn't. Sometimes she wanted people like Logan to go instead of Paul and instead of Julia, and I pushed against it. Every week went the way I wanted it to go, outside of the Valentina week with Sean pulling out an idol, and I think that's so impressive. And I think if I sit up there and say, this is the way I play this game, I fully feel I should represent our season, I should be awarded the win. And should is a strong word because I love Ava so freaking much. And if she wins, I will be nothing but happy to her. I will be the first to congratulate her. I'll give her a big hug. And I'll be upset, but I can't be mad at her because she and I have played this game together and she means so much to me. It all ends tomorrow. This has been a crazy freaking journey. And I need it to be over. I need some rest. I need to trust people again. And even though it does feel like it's, to some extent, it's over, there's no more people getting voted out, everyone is set in stone, there's still one last hurdle. I knocked out the biggest obstacle in my path yesterday. Getting redemption on that puzzle felt so good. It felt so freaking good. Because it was almost the thing that got me voted out first, and it was the thing that prevented me from getting voted out last. That's a story arc. That is a crazy story arc. I've faced my demons and I've lived to tell the tale. I've won 3 immunity challenges. I found 2 idols. I've pulled off countless blindsides. I just think my game is so strong and should speak for itself. But I know that's not how the game works. And people I can't just go up there and spit out stats and then sit down and no one asks me anything else. They're gonna ask me things. They're gonna ask me how I did things, how I interacted, and I need to go back and review things. I need to study the way I've played this game, prepare answers, come up with things that people want to hear without boasting, but at the same time without mitigating my responsibility in them. I think I've played the best game this season, bar none. Even Julia, Paul on the jury, I think I've played the best game. None of them are sitting here. None of them did the things that I did without being caught the way I did. That's the angle I need to take. And if I come in tomorrow passionate as hell and saying these things to them, I think I can win. I really do. I really think that I might win Survivor. This has been a dream. Getting all the way through without getting voted out, never hearing Jake the Tribe has spoken. Possibly hearing the winner of Syrvivor Syracuse, fans versus firsts, Jake. That's what I want. I will go to bed visualizing that. The same way I visualized Jake stays alive at the Final 4 challenge, and the same way I visualized Jake wins final immunity at the last challenge. This is it. This is my final task. We've voted out everyone against us, and now I have to turn on the closest friend and hopefully bring home the freaking bacon. I'm nervous. I'm super nervous. I'm gonna be planning so much stuff today, but I can do it. I have never taken the safe route on things. And I think playing it safe and apologizing to the jury won't work. I need to come in passionate, confident in my game, and I think I'm confident. I am so proud of everything I did, and I think I'm the winner. I do. If I had to vote, I would vote for me, but I know I'm biased, and I know that's not how it works. But even if I lose, I will walk away with my head held high, and just the feeling of a winner. Everything I've done in this game, this is the Survivor game I wanted to play. I did it. I wasn't sure I could do it, but hell, I did it. I came in with a game plan, and that game plan got thrown out the window pretty darn quickly. But the way I sat in the middle, the way I orchestrated blindsides, the way I won challenges and found idols, that's the game I wanted to play. That's Survivor. I made it. I did it. I freaking did it. And I'm so jazzed, so pumped. I am in the final 2 of Syrvivor Syracuse, and I have a 1 in 2 shy of being the sole freaking survivor. That feels pretty good.
Hi guys.
We are 20 minutes away?
Exactly 20 minutes away.
Yeah.
Well, 20 minutes away from when we
Yeah.
need to be there.
This has been so much fun. I did a lot. I did a vlog this morning just talking
I
about...
did a vlog a
yeah.
little while ago, just talking about how I'm so happy that we're
I said in
here.
it, I'm like, meeting you was the best part of this experience for me.
You're lying.
I swear to God.
Jake, I love you so much. Oh, I'm gonna get so emo.
Yeah.
I really don't want to do this.
Yeah, the
TBH.
claws have to come out, but we knew what we were getting ourselves into.
Oh,
Love you so much.
I love you. I love you more. I love you more. I feel like you're gonna have more ammo than I do. Honestly. And like in regards to jury, I really think it's split. I think
I have no idea who's gonna win.
Okay, I genuinely have no idea because I think that there are some people who are dead set on voting me and people who are dead set on voting you, and then floaters.
Who do you think
And-
is the floaters? I think Ryan Baker. Actually, he's probably voting you.
I don't know about that. I
know.
think Brian's a floater.
Yeah, I don't know who Brian and Logan are gonna vote for. I don't know who Sean. Sean will probably vote you.
Sean's gonna vote for me. I think Julia's gonna vote for you.
I'll probably get Julian Paul.
I think Julia and Paul are gonna vote for you.
Yeah, I think those are the only 2 I'm sure I have.
I think I have Sean and Luca. But just know, I'm in
They'll
it
get
with
their
you, even
turn.
though I'm against
Yeah.
you. I'm in it with you because
Yeah.
I'm gonna be like doing the same thing. I'll even like if they're trying to heckle you, I'll literally be like, guys, come on, let him. Actually, I probably won't because then they'll get angry at me. But okay, never mind.
Listen,
I'm nervous. I'm
we love each
nervous.
other.
I'm
It's a
nervous.
game.
I love
We-
you so
we
much. I
know.
don't want to do this.
We've been down so many roads.
I
We
just
know
wish
it's
we
not
could
personal.
do an immunity challenge again. Colin said the bus is still running, right? LOL. Hopefully.
Yeah.
That's
I got 14 minutes, I think.
That's tea. That's tea, Ballin plays. I hope that you arrive soon. Oh wait, we have to get there soon.
We can walk there now. Alright, let's just go a few minutes early. Good luck to you. If you win, I'm gonna be so proud.
If you win, I'm gonna be
but
so
I
proud.
hope you lose.
If you win, I'm gonna be so proud, but I hope you lose too.
Alright.
Oh,
Last
Jake,
vlog
I'm
ever.
so sad.
Goodbye.
This is
Java.
a momentous way to
skipped-
end. I'm sorry.
Alright.
We made knees the other day, and Jake made his hair so bad. It was
I
actually
fixed
just
it.
spiky.
It's a little better now.
No, it's
It's
not.
not. There's none that have my hair.
Yeah,
My hair's one of a kind. It's really not. Alright.
it is.
Last vlog. Java out. It's been a hell of a season. Thanks.
Wait, no, we have to do the Java.
Oh. Nailed it.
It's down to you two, Jake and Ava. After 79 days, so you can see all of your fallen partners, from Cam to Molly Lupesca, to Curtis, to Carly, to Catherine, to Brian, to Luca, to Colin, to Ryan, to Paul, to Julia, to Lil V, to Logan, to Sean. It's down to you two. 79 days in, the first season of Survivor Syracuse. This is it. Make sure you get everything you want to say out. Make sure your strategy is implied, whether that be to release everything, to hold back something in, whatever it might be. The jury will have an opportunity to ask you guys each one question each, either singling you out or to both of you. They'll take those answers into consideration, and they have the official power to vote who wins the first season. Good luck, guys. And yeah. I will now bring the members of our jury. Colin, Ryan, Paul, Julia,
Fail in.
Valentina, And Sean voted out the last tribal council. Welcome, jury. This is your last opportunity to address Ava and Jake to figure out who deserves the title of Season 1 winner of Survivor Syracuse. With that said, we are now going to bring in the pre-merge. Cam, Molly Gibbs, Molly LaPesca, Curtis, and Catherine. Finally, we'll be joining us soon. All right, guys, you're 79 days in. You're all here, and we have a winner to crown between Ava and Jake. The power now shifts to the jury, where each of them will have one question to address to either Ava or Jake, or both. Everyone, please take what people say into consideration and make a quality vote that who deserves the first winner of Survivor Syracuse. With that said, we will first start with opening statements. We did a coin flip. Jake will be going first, followed by Ava, and the closing statements, Ava will go first, followed by Jake. Jake?
Everybody, as you all know, my name is Snake Niebuhr. Tonight I'm shedding off that skin and I'm telling no lies. I'm going to go and I'm going to tell the truth tonight because it's up to you guys to determine who is the best winner, and I think that's me. Obviously, I came into this game as a super duper fan of Survivor. I know pretty much everything there is to know to a point where it's a little bit scary. I feel like no one was going to care as much as I did about the game, and I was really humbled when I got off on the awful foot that I started on. I was very closely the first person voted out of this game. From that point, I had to kind of scramble. I told the other tribe that I was one who received votes in hopes that they would poison me right away, which they did, and I was able to find the poison idol and use my lying skills to keep it a secret. I was blindsided that round, the most I was blindsided the entire game when I lost Molly LaPesca. When Molly walked out the door, I said to her, they will burn for that. And they did. At the swap, I linked up with Ava. I made a final 2 deal with her that was supposed to be a secret, but obviously that didn't really stay secret for too long. At that point, I could have made the personal decision to take the shot at Julia and Paul, who had wronged me previously. If I was playing a personal game, I could have gone with the first and taken them out. But I decided to bide my time and use the skills I had with them and with the newfound relationship I had with Ava to wait and take them out when the time was right. After that point, I just played with strategy. I think I was very much responsible for the Carly, for the Paul, for the Julia, and for the Colin votes in particular. I think I was a big reason that each of them went home, and I was the person who was pushing for them more than anybody else. Every time I went into tribal council, I was pushing for the person to go home at the merge, except for Valentina. There were times where Ava would come in with plans that were different than mine, would want someone else to go home. Specifically at the Paul vote and the Julia vote, she wanted Logan to go home. But it was through me that I was able to push the target in the direction that made the most sense for my game. I believe I've outwitted, outplayed, and outlasted everyone here, and I hope that you guys believe that I should be the sole survivor. I'm so proud of the game I played, and I look forward to hearing from you guys tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Jake. Jury, take that into consideration. Ava, opening statement?
Okay, I'm kind of taking the opening statement in a different direction, but hi everyone. As you all know, I'm a first. I don't own a Survivor bandana. I never hosted weekly parties.
It's clearly a fraud.
But it's true. Yeah, I don't own a Survivor buff. I don't even know what a buff is. And I was voted most likely in Survivor Superlatives to lose this entire game. So when I say I started this game as an underdog, I started this game as an underdog. Valentina literally had me written down as the first person most likely to get out, and she knew me for this game. And my mom told me I was insane to play this game because I don't have the backbone for it. So, except I had to learn how to play despite my weaknesses, especially one glaringly obvious one. Most notably, my emotions. Friendships are one of the most important parts of my life, and this game forced me to backstab and lie to some of the most important people in my life. Yes, I know it's a game. Yes, I know tears were shed. Yes, I know that was embarrassing. If I could go back in time, I would have handled things differently. But I'm honestly grateful for being so extra because I learned to use my emotions to my advantage. And despite getting sad before and after tribal votes, I never, ever let them influence my actual vote. I'm acknowledging that I'm far from a perfect player. I never found an idol, despite searching at 1 a.m. with Julia. I never won a challenge, despite almost beating Sean, but not really. So Jake really does have that on me for sure. But what I mastered in this game isn't something that can be seen. I had to learn a lot during this game, both about the process and about myself. And what I learned was how to turn my greatest weakness into my greatest strength. I had the ability to lie straight to people's faces week after week, and people chose to come back to me and trust me, placing their faith in me again for reasons that I can't explain. And not once during this entire game was my name written down for elimination. I never had any fancy idols to protect me. I never won immunity. I was an easy target, but no one came for me, not once. Why? Because I didn't appear to be a threat even though I was. I'm looking at some of the most incredible, savage, and snaky Survivor players in the game, and I applaud you, because this game is unfair, and some of you played a better game than both me and Jake. But the reason some of you aren't sitting here right now is because you didn't hide the fact that you were a threat. I did. No one thought I would get this far, and even now, I don't think that I did enough on my own to be here. So I plan to be honest and straightforward with you tonight, and will do my best to share every step that got me to where I am. So that being said, thank you so much for playing with me. I love you all, and give me your worst. I'm ready to get flamed.
All right, guys.
Someone sits up straighter now.
All right, guys. Take that into consideration also. Now, the power shifts to the jury. Each of you will have one question to ask either Jake or Ava or both. We'll start from elimination order. Brian, you're first. You can step up in front of everyone and ask your question.
Don't film me.
I'll direct my question's directed at both of you,
Okay.
so you know. But I'm sure as other jury people talk to you, they'll address it to you. Okay, ready? Ava and Jake, congrats on making it to Final 2. Neither of you deserve it, but here we are. From day one, Survivor has been not only a mental and physical game, it has also been a social game. To stay in the game, it is necessary to reach out to other players, form alliances, and create lasting connections. The social component of this game requires you to learn things about your fellow players. My question to you is simple. Tell me one thing about Molly Gibbs that is not Survivor related. Holy shit! One thing. Just one thing about Molly Gibbs that is not Survivor related. Jake, you can go first.
I was
Alright, quiet
never on
down.
a tribe with her. I never had an opportunity to get to know her. I don't really have anything. I'm sorry.
Molly Gibbs is a junior at Syracuse University, and she lives on the East Coast.
Thank you so much for answering my questions.
She was roommates with,
And right now.
It's not Survivor related.
With a girl that goes to school.
Thank you, Brian.
Oh, did I have to say it there?
No, you can.
Amazing.
Luca, your turn.
Word. First of all, I want to say that I respect you both for making it this far. I think you both are right in what you played to your strengths. Jake, I really can resonate with what you said about your obsession with Survivor. I have the same obsession about a passion that no one cares about, and I know what that feels like to be really into something that's like really niche. So again, I respect how much you played into that. Ava, again, you know what your strengths were, you came out, you played them well, and you both made it here. So regardless of what anyone says, you're the finalist, and that's a fact. One thing I will say, a lot of the people in the jury express their opinions that they feel like when both of you talk, whether on tribal, in person, or at a challenge, that a lot of you say what people want to hear. I think you both addressed that in your opening statements, but and obviously that's part of the game is making it this far, is saying what people want to hear and making it that far. It doesn't always mean being truthful, it doesn't always mean saying what's on your mind, it's saying the correct thing. So one thing I will say to you is, regardless of what I ask, what everyone else asks, I think what most of us are looking for is answers that are truthful, answers that are honest, and answers that are forthcoming, and express really how you feel and explain your rationale and reasoning behind the decisions that you made that got you to this place. My question's simple. Jake, I think you know that it's a difficult case for me to vote for you. I think you know where my vote is right now. Obviously the circumstances are that way. That said, when I was in your shoes, if I was in your shoes and I had the poison idol at that challenge, I probably would have played the same way. I totally get why you did what you did. My question is really simple, but it's at the same time probably kind of difficult. Jake, give me one, and Ava, you can answer this question as well if you want right after him. Give me one non-Survivor related, non-game based way you played reason why I should vote for you. Something about maybe the future of this club, maybe about your rationale for wanting to make it this far, your goals, why you were so invested, like something that's beyond just, I played a good game, I played it the right way, I got a lot of idols, I won a lot of challenges.
Obviously, I've discussed that Survivor is something that means a lot to me, but I don't think I've really discussed why. A lot of my life, I feel that I haven't really been good at anything. I feel that I've had certain strengths, but they're strengths that I feel like my siblings and the people around me have more than I do. So coming into Survivor, it was for me something that I thought I could do really well. And to come in and just be humbled right away with the fact that you are on the bottom, you are alone, no one wants to work with you. I want this so bad, to prove to myself that I am good at something, to prove to myself that I can pick myself up from the absolute bottom, that I could take a situation where I was all by myself and turn that around. It just means so much to me to win this game because I love Survivor, but more importantly, it means a lot to me because it proves that I am good at something and that when I put my mind to anything, I can do it.
Well, I think number one, this is a good question that I feel like I have been also reflecting on as my time in Survivor has come to a close, because I feel like in relating to what I said in the opening statement, I think I've changed in the sense that I'm a people pleaser. And full disclosure, for a while I didn't think you liked me very much. I still don't know if you like me.
I still don't.
But for a while, I mean, I was really fixated, obviously in the beginning, that people were not going to like me because of my moves in this game. And always throughout my entire life, I'm going to discuss this in my closing as well. I mean, there have been instances where people have told me that I am overly nice to people who I don't think like me because I can't even handle the fact that people I don't like may not like me. So I do have that complex, and I feel like this game has forced me to make independent moves for myself and realize that sometimes the opinions of others, although I do care a lot about them, don't often matter in the long run, and that sometimes I have to focus on myself. So I feel like moving forward, I still would want to be involved in the club when I come back senior year because I'm going abroad, and I'm excited to see where it goes. And I'm proud of Luke for all the work that he's done.
So, Ava, first of all, I do like you. It's not personal. That's part of my motto and my attitude. I like Colin said, I'm an asshole. It's my sense of humor. So first of all, appreciate the game you played, appreciate that you made it here, appreciate that you know that about yourself and that you use that to get yourself to this spot. Jake, I will say, like, don't let the votes of this jury or the way that tonight goes change the fact that you know that you're good at this. I mean, like, making it to this point is something that's important. Honestly, like you're probably going to be in a lot of situations in your life where it's between you and another person, or it comes down to the very end, and you have to realize, like, regardless of how the very end goes, getting yourself to the very end or getting yourself to that place where you have the ability to win means that you are good at it. So, like, I don't know how tonight's going to go. I don't know how people are going to vote, but what I will say is just take away from tonight that regardless of the way this vote goes, this is something that you are good at, something that you earned, and something that you should be proud of, no matter if you win or not. Thank you.
Thank you, Luca. Colin? Yeah.
Alright. Well, first I gotta say I liked the opening statements for sure. I liked Ava's a lot because it resonated with me. And I want to start by saying, Jake, you need to know that you have enemies on this jury. You definitely have enemies on this jury. So I have to open in general by saying initially I was not happy with this final two, and to be honest, I'm still not sure if I am happy with this final two. But Sean played an incredible game, and I do think he deserves some recognition, so that's that. Really think but then again, we do need to remember what the very foundation of this game is, and that's the fact that it's called Survivor. Sean played at the top of the game, and he became really popular really fast. He called the shots, he played some really good challenges, and he won a lot of them, but that's not a good idea if you want to survive. And that's what this game is surviving. Jake and Ava, you both immediately came off to me as very friendly and welcoming people, but you both played opposite games, like very, very different from each other. Jake, you found idols, you won key challenges, and you lied like a motherfucker. And I did not have a single truthful conversation with you from beginning to end. We both know that. That's just not one, not a single one. We lied to each other. It's okay. I totally understand. You scrapped, and that's just a fact. And scrapping made you survive. Ava, Although you may have played it up a few times, at least I think, and some other people may think, you were sad that you had to vote people out. This game affected you in ways that it didn't affect others. But you didn't win challenges, you didn't find idols, and you didn't make big moves. You did say that, and I did hear that, and I'm still thinking about it. You stayed in the middle of the crowd, you kept your head down, and that's the reason why you survived. So you're both here, and I'm proud of you both, and I think you both did a really good job to get here. I have one vote to contribute to one of you winning this competition, but as you both said, and as Lucas said, you both are known for giving surface level answers to some of the questions that we give. I think Ava has a tendency to compliment the people around her, including Jake, and I think, Jake, you have a tendency to just say what people want to hear. That's just what I've gathered, and that's what I've seen. Jake, you have enemies on the jury, like I said, and you played a bit of an immoral game that differs from my initial perception of your personality, but you played it really well. Ava, you stuck to who you were as best as you could, but you didn't play a big game. Whichever one of you gives me a real, unfiltered answer can have my vote. Which game was better and why? Ava, you can start.
Out of both of ours.
Yeah.
I believe mine was, no question. Because, I mean, at the start of the game, yes, I was very, very emotional, and yes, I did stick with my lines. They were my lighthouses. They knew how to play the game, but also, I had to pave my own path very, very early. I was on the first tribe. My first vlog in this entire game is me staring at Casey saying, my entire alliance is on the other tribe. What do I do? I was thrown into the depths very, very early, and I was in between many votes. There were instances where I had to crawl myself up when other people's lies kind of got in my way. And there were other instances where I feel like Jake has said that in your opening statement, you seem to take credit for some of the votes that I don't think that you were at the forefront of. For example, you said Carly. I think in HBC when it was you, me, Paul, and Julia, and we were all sitting, Julia said she didn't really want to add anything because of the Molly before. She had a big vote. And you two turned to me and you said, between Carly and Brian, who do you think should go? And I said, this is really, really hard for me because I don't want to eliminate either of them, but I think Carly. For the Paul vote, that was Julia. That wasn't you. I don't think that was you. And the Julia vote, I think that both of us were thinking it, but the first one who addressed it was me when we were on the corner in between the women's building and that little block. I turned to you and I said, what are you thinking about Final 3? I'm scared of Julia. And then you said, you know what, I was thinking it, but I was scared to bring it up to you because I didn't think you would want to turn on her. And I said, she's scary because she knows how to friggin' play this game and she's going to beat both of us if we take her to the end. And then you said, do you want to vote her out? And I said, yes. So I think that I was more influential in some of these votes than people realize, and I think that I was put in situations throughout this game where I was in the middle, because I was with the first for the majority, and I was with my alliance for the majority. So there were votes where I seemed like, oh, I'm a sheep in the middle, like, oh, I'll do whatever Julia does, I'll do what Valentina does. But no, this whole game, it's an independent game. I was playing for myself. Yes, there were definitely times where I know you disagree with the moves that I made, especially near the end, especially I know with the Sean and Jake, the way that I voted. But I believe that every vote I did was giving me the best chance to make it here. I think that especially the vote that you guys think I was a sheep for was Sean. Sean is an incredible, incredible player. He literally fought, everyone sleeps on him. Well, okay, Julian added that one time. But literally, he won all of these titles. You are an incredible player, Sean, and you would have beaten both of us. So it would not have made sense for me to abandon Jake and vote with Logan and Sean, just to have Sean win immunity. He did promise me disclosure, Final 2, if it was him, me, and Logan. But I still think, if I were him, I would have picked Logan. Because you literally said to me that you think that maybe you could have beaten her over me, but you still thought you would have beaten both of us. So it was too much of a crapshoot for me to take Sean at Final 2 at that moment in time, not saying I didn't consider it later.
I think Ava played a safe game. I think I played the best game. Early on, I want to first address the points that Ava brought up, if that's okay with you.
Yeah.
The Carly vote. I know that people saying name, and I wanted to address this in my speech, but my original draft of my speech was 14 minutes, and Luke told me I had to change it, so I didn't really get the time to get down into everything to explain what I meant by me being behind those votes. Being the first person to say a name, in my opinion, is not being behind a vote. Being a vote is making sure everyone is going the way you want them to go. At the Carly vote, we said it in HBC, and I remember distinctly a conversation between you, me, Julia, and Paul outside Lawrenson, where you went back and forth, and you said, oh, I don't know, should we get rid of Carly? Should we get rid of Brian? And Paul was really pushing for Brian. And at that point, I said, we need to do Carly. She is the biggest threat in this game. Sorry, Paul. At the Paul vote, Julia said Paul's name for sure downstairs. I'm not denying that you had an impact in that and that you brought that to me. I was already thinking Paul. I didn't say it, so I can't take credit for what was in my head because that's not fair to anybody. But when you and I had that conversation, you wanted to do Logan. You were very adamant about not getting rid of Paul, that it was too early, and it was me who talked you into that vote. So maybe I wasn't the person who came up with it, but I was the person who convinced the votes to go the right way. At the Julia vote, we had that conversation, but I had a conversation with Valentina the night before where I said we need to get Julia with or without Ava. I was prepared to get rid of Julia, and I was prepared to blindside you. And when you came to me with that, I said, all right, I guess we'll pull Ava in too. I think that I had control in this game. Sure, I scrapped because I had to, but I did it well. I came into challenges so focused. Last night, you guys are all cracking jokes. I couldn't say anything to you because I was so focused on winning that challenge because I knew I needed it. When I needed to get something done in this game, I got it done. I lied to people, I put people on the jury, and I'm proud of it. I did it with a smile on my face. You said I think the person who wins this game should be someone who represents our season, someone who made big moves, and someone who carved their path to the end. I think Ava played it safe, I think I played it smart, and fought every inch in this game. I clawed my way to the final two, and I think I deserve to win this game because of that.
Can I one more thing?
Yeah, you have one.
So both of your arguments are really, really good, and it goes with the fact that both of your opening statements are good too. I think what this comes down to is what we admire more in this game and like what we want out of a winner. If we want someone who played a really good game, someone who represents what the fans wanted, and I am a fan first and foremost. I was on the fans tribe, and we do have that. But I also am a person outside of Survivor too, and I think about morality a lot too as it comes to this game and how we are as people. So I do have to weigh both of those things in my head. I appreciate both of your responses, and not to sway the jury in any way, but I do think that Jake played a major role in influencing a lot of the votes, and I will say that. And I understand what you're saying, and I agree with you on all of them except for the one that Ava brought up. But on the vote that got me out, that may have been the idea of other people, but without V, that would have never happened. You know what I mean? Like, she was the inside girl. She was spying on us the entire time. Like, she lied to my face more than you lied to me, which is wild. But like, you know, that's. But I am considering both of your opinions, and I definitely think those are really good responses, and it's exactly what I wanted to hear from both of you, 100%.
Can I do something?
Yeah,
about actually?
100%.
That morning you weren't going home. That morning Ryan Baker was going home. Julia was so nervous about sending you home with an idol in your pocket, and I went over to her house and made up some weird lie about us saying that it's Logan going home just so she would get less nervous. V was just as much involved in that vote as I was. I made sure that the votes were in the right place. We had a conversation where you said, okay, let's do this. There's a vlog with us pumping fists and saying, let's do it when I came over to make the fake idol. I put that vote together just as much as V did. V had a huge role in flipping and lying, and I don't want to disregard that at all because that was 100% your move. But I think I should get some credit for that as well.
Okay. Yeah, for sure. Thank you guys. Good luck, both of you.
All right. Take that into account. Ryan Baker, you're up.
Hey guys. Alright, so if I'm gonna be perfectly honest, Sean deserves to win this game. Out of that final three, Sean really played the best game. He made big moves week after week. He barely even lied to anyone, and like we really respected that. So I'm not gonna lie, not thrilled with you two sitting in and I don't know if I can say the same for you guys of making these big moves and playing the game. And I have been impressed with both of what you have had to say so far tonight. So good job. However, you both stayed quiet and literally blindly followed anyone in this game that showed like an ounce of leadership. You both clinged on to people who were taking charge in the game. And to be quite honest, I don't really respect that. However, What I do respect is that both of you are sitting here right now, and guess what? None of us are, okay? So, as bitter as we may be, we're all here and you guys are there. So, I mean, even Ava said it. You said people came back to you, crawling back to you, even after you backstabbed them. Guess what? I was one of those people. She did totally okay, and you know what? We were talking and I trusted her after that, so that was bad on my part. Anyway, so yeah, I love you both outside the game. You're awesome people. I'm so glad that like Survivor really brought us together, because I didn't know either of you. However, that being said, the jury wants honesty, and Ava, tears are gonna get you nowhere. Jake, fake smiles and canned responses, we see right through that. So, my question for you guys is, I want both of you to give me a really good and valid reason as to why the other person played a better game.
Ooh.
I want to start by saying I don't agree that I was a follower in this game. I put across the perception that I was following other people. Specifically, Brian came up to me after Carly went home and I said, yeah, that was all Julia, but I don't think that was the case. My goal was to have shields in front of me when I was just as much a part of those conversations. There might have been big people that were scary, but I was always calling the shots just as much. I don't feel I was a follower at all. I feel like I beat to my own drum. Now, in terms of why you should vote for Ava instead of me.
I want to rebuttal to that before, because I want the questions kind of stay separate, but I do appreciate you responding to that, is that based off of just discussions with the jury, no one was saying you were taking charge in those situations.
Because I was trying to, the game I was playing was laying low, and specifically making other people feel that they were the ones who came up with the moves that I was pulling off. I didn't want to be out in front because the people who were out in front, like Paul and Julia, their heads got cut clean off. I needed to make sure I wasn't in the position where if I stood up too much, I was going to get kicked right out of the game. I was involved in the conversations. Every time I wanted someone to go home, they went home except for Valentina. Every vote went the way I wanted it to go. And even though I might have not been the public spearhead, behind the scenes, I feel I was just as involved as anyone else.
Okay, fair enough. But can you answer my question now?
I think that if you were to vote for Ava over me, you would have to vote for her based on just the emotions she played with, because I don't think I played an emotional game. Ava connected with people in a way that I just couldn't. And I don't know if it's something about her or if it's something about me, but a lot of the times I felt like the connections I had were shallow, or that people didn't want to connect with me, that people, I don't know, viewed me as this guy who was just out on his own, doing his own thing and following whoever wanted to be followed. The connections you guys have with Ava, and like you guys all hang out with her way more than you hang out with me, which is just something that's fair. And I feel like if you're voting for who you like more as a person, I feel like every single person will vote for Ava instead of me.
Okay.
This is his dream. He is such a passionate person, and since day one, he has put his entire life on hold and fully immersed himself into this game. He cares about this, and if a few things went wrong, he would have been sitting where Cam is right now, and Cam would have probably been here, because you're really dead. But honestly, you started from the bottom, and now you're really, really here. And he did what he had to do to get here. And I know you guys say that I compliment people, but I do applaud him for how far that he came, and I'm honored to be next to him.
Thank you guys.
Start by giving you guys a hearty mazel tov for making it here. There are many reasons that you guys are sitting there and we are sitting here. And growing up, watching Survivor every Wednesday, I always thought it was kind of, can't curse. I always thought it was kind of stupid when the jury would compliment the final two for making it there, because not everyone deserves to make it to the final two. But once you're in this game and you're playing it, you realize that no matter what game we played, and if you want to argue that we played better, you guys did a really good job for making it there. And that's, like Colin said, that's the goal of the game, to make it to the end. So, the reason I'm not in this game and I'm over there, not up there with you guys, is because I got comfortable. And I started relying on way too many people. And coming into this game, I wanted to play my own independent game. I called it an onion. I was going to have my own game and then get like a fake final two and then get all these outer alliances. And pre-jury, that's what I had. But post-merge, I kind of lost track of that, and I kind of let everyone else kind of just take the wheels for me. And yeah, cool. Deep breath. But, again, memory, not working. But but as Sydney from Co Wrong from the season that Jake is wearing a very obnoxious buff right now, who might lose my vote over. As Sydney said, it's a me game, not a we game. And it's all about playing your own independent game. And my downfall was relying on many a person, including especially Lil V, no shade, but you were my greatest flaw in this game. And putting my trust into too many other people's hands, including you guys too. And Jake, I still, to this day, I think the best thing that happened to your game was Molly being voted out week 3. And you were able to play your own game. Cool, whatever. But Ava, sweet baby Ava, you've addressed a lot of my concerns, so that's great. But from my perspective, you weren't a Jake. You didn't have your ally voted out week 3. You weren't a Paul. Actually, maybe you were. I don't know. But from my perspective, I feel like you relied on all these different people throughout the game. And even if you were behind the Julia vote, whatever, cool, I still feel like you relied on fans, your alliance, throughout this entire game. And whereas Jake also did that in a way, he also relied on other people, and I feel like he played his own game more so. So Ava, if it's not too much to ask you, because I know you haven't done a lot this game, what is the smartest decision you made in this game? That you made, and the smartest decision throughout the whole game, and I know we had a whole banter about the semantics of who makes a decision, blah, blah, blah,
Yeah.
but for your game, what was the best thing that you actively made an effort to do?
My fake final 2 deals. I have had 3, technically 4, but notably with Julia, Valentina, and Jake. I started off this game in a final 2 with Julia. I love you so much. I don't know if you would have stuck to that, but I came to a point in the game where I couldn't rely on you anymore. You played such a good game, and you never ever really lied to me, which is what sucks, but you did little things that made me feel as though I couldn't trust you as wholeheartedly anymore. And so the fact that I had kept that relationship with Jake, which another thing that I did wrong was telling you guys about the Jake Alliance right to begin with, but that was when I was still learning. I still had the training wheels on my bicycle. But then after that, I feel like that was kind of the moment where I started to see the finish line. Because I know you would have beaten mostly, oh my gosh, you're taking notes. I saw the finish line in sight. Second, Valentina. My final 2 with you, after we had gotten rid of Julia, after we had gotten rid of Paul, Jake had also made a final 2 deal with you. I think that was the moment where you saw through Jake. Because Jake, you have a tendency to circle around and kind of throw out some lies without necessarily thinking them through. And I feel like that is what has gotten you in trouble during this game. Because when I had a final 2 deal with Valentina that I don't think necessarily would have lasted until the end, because I think that you are also a very powerful player, I think that conversation with you solidified Jake's technique during this game, which was basically throwing out some lies, not really thinking about them long term, because you told her a lot of stuff about my relationship with Paul and that I was behind the Paul vote, which very easily came out as not true. And also you said something about the whole Julia thing and my relationship with her, and that I wanted Valentina out, and that during that vote that you were the only one who wanted Valentina to stay, and that me and Julia were pushing for Paul, which easily came out as not true and easily showed how you don't really have any reason to believe that your lies can kind of fall and hit the target every single time. So I think that was my greatest move, because it showed that I can turn on people in my alliance, and that's probably one of the best representations of my independent game, and also a good example now about how Jake is not as good as lying as I am.
Thank you for your response.
You're welcome.
I mean, I thought we kind of had like a little bit of a final 2. I guess I never like.
Verbally said it, Paul.
I thought it was implied.
Said it.
But I did want to take you to the final two for the reason that I saw you as an easy goat to drag along, and I do still feel like you were dragged a decent amount, but I do appreciate your answer. Jake, take off the buff. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul.
Now it's like
You thought. Oh, I'm ready.
This is the one I'm scared for.
Julia Kelly.
She looks so
She's been practicing.
Ava and Jake. You obviously played strong games because you're sitting there right now. You've outplayed all of us. Or more accurately, you followed the games of really strong players. Most of the jury is aware of our own independent moves and we're aware of our own mistakes. We've shared every step of our own games together after each tribal. We've broken down the steps of every single game. We know the ins and outs of things you don't even think about. We remember it all. We've mapped out this game. I admire players who make strong moves to get ahead. Regardless of the place I came in, I have a resume in this game and you voted me out because I was running it. I want to know what big strategic moves you made independently of advantages, each other, and independently of members currently sitting on the jury right now to have a seat in the final two. My vote is going to the person I would root for as a viewer, so tell me who I should be voting for, and don't bring up my vote because voting me out was the easiest move in this game. Every single person on that jury wanted me out. Every single person on that side of the house wanted me out. Give me an answer. Who should I root for?
I think you should root for me. I made some of the I rest my case. I made massive moves, and I think I made them specifically by myself, leading my own agenda. I think the smartest move I made in this game was pushing for Colin to go home. We've discussed this before, but I took a huge risk that day. I knew my name was on the block. We knew from Valentina that specifically if I did not win that immunity and he pulled out an idol, I was gonna go home. I saw that idol as the biggest thing blocking me from a deep run into the game. He was never gonna use that to me. He never told me the truth. I mean, every conversation we had, like he said, was a lie. Taking him out was the biggest way of taking a pawn off the board that was standing in my way. He had an idol in his pocket, and I guess that's not independent of idols, but I guess I didn't have one, so I hope that counts.
You had two, actually.
We didn't mean it though.
But specifically, I took a big risk in voting him out at that point, and I think that is the biggest move I made in the game. As a fan, I hope that you can respect I took risks. Voting you and Paul out, I know you don't want to talk about your vote, but I got rid of numbers who were willing to work with me. I put myself in a situation where if Valentina turned on me in the Final Four, if she was actually there, I was gonna have to do a challenge. I knew the stakes. I knew what I was getting myself into. You told me when I left the game that I had to win challenges if I wanted to get here. And you know what? I did it.
I've gone back and forth about this move for a while, and the person who it involves knows I have, but I think the best move for me was voting out Sean, siding on the,
Hold on, you
with
didn't
you.
vote out Sean?
I meant eliminating Logan, which then put Sean on the outs. And I have heard grumbles from certain people that a lot of members in this room did not agree with that move because they believed that that was me following Jake and that was me not doing an independent game. If I had made that other move, there would be a clear winner sitting right here, and it would be Sean, because he deserves to win out of the three of us. But right now, it's a crapshoot. It is a crapshoot. And I made the move that I made that night because I knew that that's what would get me the closest I could possibly get to winning this game. I'm not gonna sit here and say that I'm a clear winner and that I'm the most powerful one and that I made all the best moves, because I didn't. I'm a flawed player. I literally did not. But Sean definitely played a better game with me than I did, and if he was sitting right here, there would be no question at all. And I had heard all throughout this entire game that the jury doesn't like Jake, Jake's done some bad stuff, so yeah, that was the best move, even though I had people whispering in my ear that that was the wrong move and that I should have done another thing.
I would disagree. I don't think it's a crapshoot. Good luck, guys.
Thank you, Julia. Sure to take that into account. Valentina, you're up.
So both of you guys offered me a final 2 deals. Obviously that was a lie, okay. After my blue thing, Paul was blindsided, love you. Obviously that was a lie, and you guys made that decision together as seen in the text that I saw on Ava's phone. Oh, this is when we were seeing Hamilton at like 1 a.m. with Sean.
Oh,
Yeah. Food.com.
Roll the tape.
Yeah. That being said, my question is, you kind of touched on this, so I want to hear from Jake too. But why did you two decide to take each other to the final instead of me, or really any other members of Toxic by Lil V, aka Delta Kappa Alpha Theta, given that people, some people, including me, might constitute both of you guys as sheep in this game?
do you want me to start?
You kind of touched on it, so I want to hear from you first.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of the time Ava was like, okay, I'll do whatever you guys want. And I never felt like I did that. I might have said that, but when I made moves, I was doing what I wanted to happen. She wanted Logan, like I said, multiple times. And I've said this in the past, but every time I wanted someone to go home, they went home. I got rid of these people because they stood in my way as a direct contrast to me. Ava and I talked about a lot of things, but every time Ava would agree with what I had to say. Every time the conversation would come back to what I had to say and what I wanted. You wanted a different thing. You wanted us to go final 3, me, you, Paul. Ava wanted a different thing. Ava wanted to go final 3, me, her, Julia. I chose neither of those things. I chose to go to final 2 with what I think was the best shot. My ideal final 3 would have been the 3 of us, just because I felt like I could have won the final immunity challenge straight up. I think I would have had the best shot in the challenge against the 2 of you. And I knew that if I could win, I had made bigger moves than Ava. I had had more of a say in this game than Ava. And as a fan of the game, I would root for the person who had more control in who went home.
Why was I your ideal final 3?
Because, like I said,
As opposed to like, I don't know, anyone else.
I just felt like I felt based on the conversations we had specifically about Ava, there was a chance you were gonna take me. There was no shot Logan was taking me to the end. Logan was never gonna at least with you, I had a chance. So even if you did win that final immunity, and I felt good about my chances against you guys, no offense to either of you, I won 3 challenges, and yeah. But I felt like there was at least a sliver of a hope that you would take me to the end. And if I'm not in the final 2, I have no chance of winning. And I want to win this game so bad, even if I'm in a situation where I think you would have beaten me, because I think you would have smoked me in the final 2. I wanted to be here, I wanted to fight for my game, and I wanted to claw for every single vote that I could have gotten.
Wait, what? Did you guys over it?
No, she got it. I don't know. You tell us.
I'm so confused.
What happened?
Nothing.
I'm not gonna go
How dare you show
And it's gone.
Okay, so,
Right.
wait, just first really fast, I just want to respond to one thing that Jake said, because you said this twice about the Logan thing. That was just up in our attic right before when I was just worried about timing, because this whole game is about timing, and it's not that I didn't want to eliminate Paul, it's just that I didn't sure it was the right, okay, I love you. It's just because I didn't know if it was the right time for it. I didn't know if it was too soon to break up Toxic by Lil V. I didn't know if we should have held on just a little bit more to ensure that we had majority and to ensure that no other sketchy stuff happened. That was just a moment where I didn't know if it would be easier to get out Logan, but then when we started to talk about it, I realized that it was probably the right move to get out Paul next, because it was that step challenge, and you would have just beat all of us because he runs cross country. So yeah, that's why I had to consider Logan for a brief moment, but then I eventually realized that's not you necessarily controlling the vote and me following you like a sheep. That's just me having a moment of doubt.
I'm not saying you're a sheep. I'm saying that we had a conversation, and because of what I discussed, because I kept saying about Paul in the challenge, I kept saying Paul's a bigger threat, that you changed your mind. I don't have complete control. I don't have mind control powers, unfortunately. That would make Survivor way easier.
Yeah.
But because of the discussion you and I had, you did change your mind. And in that moment of weakness that I never had, I always knew the timing made sense for me, that this was my only opportunity, because if I didn't take Paul or Julia out at the right time, they would be sitting here.
Okay, I respect that. I just think that, honestly, that conversation started, if we're talking about the same conversation, that started after, when you two were downstairs after getting spray tans, and we ran downstairs, and we were like sneaking out of the house.
You're not sneaky.
No, we're not. Honestly not. That was honestly horrible. But I believe that conversation started because of the whole incident where I felt that Julia was telling everyone that the Paul vote was my idea. And that's why I was kind of freaking out, because I didn't really understand the motive behind that, because Julia is such a strong player, so I didn't really understand why she wouldn't want to take credit for it.
Because you're a sheep.
Thanks, Julia. I know I love you too. It's fine. But I just, and they were roommates. But I just wanted to just air my grievances, and it was a moment of doubt. But I still always, as I've said, for every single vote, I put emotions aside and I did what I had to do for my game. I was never ever thinking, oh my gosh, I'm just gonna, you know what, follow them and do it. In the back of my head, every single, Luca, are you okay? Yeah. Look at him. Fuck you. It was always in the back of my head. And to answer your original question, we got really, really off track. I wanted to take you to Final 3 because I feel like I have honestly trusted you the most during this game. You are a really good liar, but I feel like I've had more conversations with you than I have with anyone, including both of my original Final 2s. I maybe talked to Julia twice during this entire game. I vlogged with you maybe 80 times for an hour and a half each. Granted, half of those times we weren't talking about Survivor, but I also felt that in addition to...
He was like, yeah.
How many times was Luke there forcing the vlog? What? I said, how many times was Luke there forcing the vlog?
Oh, honestly, we just were each Chipotle and Okay, peanut gallery. But anyways, I trusted your outlook on the game. I will admit I believe that Julia and Paul were more obvious threats than you, even though you did play an incredibly great game. And I did feel that I'm not great at challenges. If anyone were to be worse at challenges than me, it may be you, just because of the hamster incident with the blindfold. But I mean, I just felt that if I had won immunity, all of my Final 2 deals were basically to ensure that if I did go to Final 3 with the right people and I won immunity, I could have my pick on who I could beat. I don't necessarily think I could have beaten you. After what Julia said, I don't know if I could beat Jake. I came into this not even really thinking I could beat Jake. I really do think that some people are still on the fence, so it's kind of going to be a toss-up for some. I know many have made up their minds. That's totally fine. I just think that I have heard more negative things about Jake than I've heard about you, so that's why I would have chosen him over you in the end. But I did want to take you to Final 3, just because I respect your game, and I feel like I've had the most contact with you.
That wraps it up. Alright, Logan, you're up.
Bro, I want to change my question.
I know, every time you
What's
change
your
my
question
question,
about?
and I don't have anything written down. But, so, I just want to congratulate you both. Like, it is, like, granted, like, obviously not me, but, like, other people here deserve to be there.
You deserve to be there. They made a case. You should be there.
You got my vote.
Logan,
But, like, you guys both played, like, really good games in your own way. You both, like, played up to your own strengths. But, my question is kind of, like, about me. But it's about when I got out, personally for Ava.
Yeah.
Not because, like I think that I should have stayed, but just, like, everyone on the jury, not everyone, but, like, most people think that it wasn't a smart move to side with Jake in the revote.
Yeah.
And, like, if you knew that from the jury, like, why would you not want to at least, like, make a big move, make them really be like, oh, like, that's a good case for you to win,
Yeah.
and, like, make that, and, like, you did have a Final 2 with Sean, I'm pretty sure, or kind of a Final 2 with Sean, but there was, like, a chance that he could have taken you over me. So why did you? Especially when, like, you had the chance to rethink it.
Number one, I didn't know that that's how they felt before the vote. I realized it's true. I realized that very quickly after when I was, when I was walking to vote again, and Julia and Paul looked at me and said, "Don't be dumb." That's when I first started to think, okay. Well, I first started to think, oh, maybe this is an omen. But I came to do a vlog right after, and I was like, I don't know what they meant by that. But then it came to my attention that they think that it would have been a very, very big move, a very definitely straying from what was the expected thing to do to turn on Jake. But as I've stated, if Jake were to be gone, it would have been the three of us. And moving into the final episode, where it was just me, Sean, and Jake, I did consider voting with Sean if I won immunity, and if he would have won, he would have taken me. But going back to that week, where it was just the three of us, Sean did promise a final two with us, but also at the same time, I literally said to him outside of this game, I obviously want you to take me to final 2, but after he stated that he would easily beat you and probably have a good chance of beating me, but easily beating you, I said later in the night.
Like Jake is like a maybe, so why wouldn't
What do
you
you mean?
keep me at least to final 3? Like Jake is like, we're all like very on the fence about like who to vote for, but I feel like if it was even like you or me, like it would easily be you.
I disagree with that, because I really disagree with that. I especially disagree with me and Sean. I think Sean would have wiped the floor with me. And no offense, we are both like incredible women. We are so powerful. We can do anything, but Sean would beat us in immunity. I have not won one challenge. Sean has won like 4. And I mean, maybe if you had won, you would have taken me. But also, you've been with Sean this entire time. You guys have stuck together through thick and thin. Even when you both had chances to come to our alliance, you stuck together. So, in your case, I don't. Maybe you would have chosen me. Maybe you would have chosen me to take me to final 2. But on paper, it seems like you would have chosen him.
Yeah,
So
I
that
don't
really,
really know. I added that part. But
so that doesn't really make sense for me.
Don't back
But
down.
yeah.
What if?
Obviously, I would have won this game if I was in one of your seats. Fact of the matter is that I played a better game than literally anyone else in this room, in my opinion. I laid low until I needed to, and then I just started dominating. It's a fact. I played this game with a lot of passion and energy. I deserve to win. Obviously, I'm still a little salty about it. Anyways, that being said, I was, I believe, 2 points away from being in one of those seats. If that had happened, how would you have beaten me? What would your case have been to beat me? Start with Jake.
My case to beat you would have been that we played polar opposite games. You were Golden Boy Sean. You won challenges, and you were immune for what, 5-6 rounds? It was insane. My way to beat you would have been to say I came from the bottom. You sat on the top the whole time, and I had to scrap. You didn't lie to people. I lied to every single person. We played polar opposite games, and if you're voting for someone who made the most blindsides, even though you were in those positions to vote for those people, you never reached out to me. You never made sure that you had my vote, and I would have been able to use that. I would have been able to say that I reached out to people. I made sure that they were voting the way I wanted them to vote. That would have been my argument against you. I don't think they would have heard it very well, and I think you would have beat me pretty easily, which is why it wasn't even a decision for me yesterday. You were an amazing competitor, and that's all.
Well, I mean, first off, to be real with you, the only reason I never reached out for your vote is because I never felt like I really needed it. And to say that I was on the top the whole time, I don't think is necessarily true, because I didn't know a single person when I came into this game when I was getting votes the second week. But I hear what you're saying. I agree that you wouldn't have beat me. Ava.
I think it's honestly, this is the first time where you have addressed that Jake's and my games are very different, but I think in this context, we would kind of have similar arguments in the sense that I feel like you were incredible in this game, especially in the end, but in the beginning, no one noticed you, because you were literally sitting at every single tribal. You didn't really know.
Can I just say that's not true? Everyone wanted Sean out first round, if I remember.
Yeah, but that was because he wasn't there. That's because he missed the challenge.
So he made a mark. People knew who he was.
My point was, in the beginning, in every single almost tribal, you didn't really know what was going on. You were in the outs, and in the end, you really did prove yourself, and you really did make your mark, especially through winning immunity. And so I think my argument would be, if you didn't have that immunity, even though you are a physical threat, I think that you would have been eliminated because you didn't make as strong moves within the alliances and within forming connections. You talked to me, but not really to anyone else on my alliance.
I have something to add. Kind of going off of that, at the merge, my argument against you would have been that you voted incorrectly round after round after round. Sure, you managed to skate by, but I voted incorrectly at the merge one time, and it was when every single vote got negated except for yours, which, by the way, was incredible. I did not think you had that in you, and I'm so impressed that you learned the game to that extent.
Literally the one tribal, I didn't know what was going on.
Splitting the minority vote is an insane thing that I honestly underestimated you so much, and being able to do that, I'm so freaking glad I played that idol on myself, because I would not be here if I didn't. But my argument would have been that I was just in the know more, and while you had to win challenges, I got by through my connections and through reaching out to the right people and being in the right alliances.
I hear you both. I wish I could vote for myself.
I'm sorry.
All right, jury questioning. Now turns it over to these two again for a 3-minute closing statement, and then we'll proceed to the vote. Ava, you are first for the closing statement.
Sorry,
sorry.
Things are dying.
Yeah, we're good. Ava.
Are you good? Okay. Thank you so much for all of your questions. I'm sure.
Sorry, hello, sister. How are you?
Okay.
Guys, your phones are dying.
Thank you so much for all of your questions. I really appreciate all of your insight. I know that some of you probably still don't think I played an independent game, but the really big thing is that it's just me and Jake, and I think the real thing is that if I didn't really play an independent Jake, guys, it's almost 11 p.m. If I didn't really play an independent game, then by that definition, I don't think Jake did either. But I think that I did what I had to do every single round, and I really did pave my own path, even though it doesn't seem like it on paper. So that being said, I deserve this game. I deserve to win this game because it has overflowed to my personal life. Just what I said to Luca's question. Of course, I met all of you, and that's been incredible, but it has allowed me to reflect on myself. John has called me soft many, many times, and that's because I am. I'm a goody two-shoes, and I hate it when people are mad at me. As I said before, Julia claims that I'm extra nice to people I don't like, because I just don't like the idea of people who don't like me. Guys, it's so late. People who I don't like to also not like me. So there may be some of you right now dead set on voting Jake. I'm almost positive that there are. And that's fine, because Jake did play a very good game. A very good game and deserves this. However, at the beginning of this game, I would have fixated on who would have voted for Jake. And I would have wondered when I went to bed at night if you guys hated me, or if you guys were mad at me, or if there was one thing that I did in this game that would have made you all hate me. And I definitely would not be as confident as I am right now. So this game gave me the opportunity to think about myself. I didn't want to vote Molly off, I didn't want to vote Carly off, I didn't want to vote Brian, Ryan, Julia, P, and V off, but I did. And I played this game, and Luca, I didn't vote you off, Jake voted you off. And Colin, but Colin, I wasn't there for the vote.
That's true.
I played this game, and I did what was best for me. I outwitted, I outplayed, I outlasted, and that's why I deserve to be Soul Survivor. Thank you.
Alright guys, I hope I've opened your eyes to my game a bit more tonight. Even if you still think I was a sheep and I've still followed, hopefully we can talk about it and I can open your eyes more to what I did. 3 individual immunities, 2 idols, countless blindsides. I am so proud of the way I played this game. I talked about it in Luca's question that I wasn't sure if I was good at Survivor, but as this final tribal went on, I just became more and more confident in the game I played. Back in Survivor Season 1, Sue Hawk got up and gave a famous speech. She said that there are 2 things on the island of Borneo. There are snakes and there are rats. My name is Snake Niebuhr, and as you guys said at the last tribal council, Ava is the rat. I slithered my way through the game. I struck when I needed to. Ava scampered along and made the safe place to stay away from predators. In this game, as Sue Hawk says, the snake should eat the rat as Mother Nature intended.
Alright, guys.
Did you write it down or did you put it out loud?
No, we read that. Alright, so jury, I hope those questions and those statements proved well in your eyes. And you have now a big decision to make between Jake and Ava, who will be crowned Season 1 winner of Survivor Syracuse. Brian, we'll start with you.
there's someone I want to win, and there's someone I really, really respect because of I know what it feels like to really be into something, and then also feel like no one understands that much being into that thing. I respect them both for making it this far.
I think about the people who I enjoyed watching the most when I watched Survivor and I was growing up. And the person that I think of the most is Ty. I loved him. He played a really moral game. He wouldn't kill the chicken. Ava's Ty. That was one of my favorite players. Call me what you want, but I don't respect Jake's game. I don't like when people lie, and I like when people
Wait, can you
nice.
show it? Sorry.
And I like when people are nice. So I respect Ava's game, and I'm on her line.
So I'm voting for the person who played the better game, and I really considered Ava for a second, but she lost me when she was telling me she didn't know what she was doing throughout, and people literally, even with my vote, Jake had to explain to her why it was the right time. I'm out because I didn't know it was the right time to flip on Jake. Or the right time to flip on Julia even. I thought I could wait it out. So did she. She could have been going home if she was once a cross-country runner.
Final time, I'll go tally the votes. Alright, we started this game all the way in August. I'd like to say thank you to everyone. I think pretty much this entire game started because of you guys, and I couldn't really done it without you guys, so thank you. This means a lot to me, and of course you see my passion in this game, and the fact that it's not only gone this far, but taken off on campus, and the future seasons I hope to come. You can always rely on you guys, and thank you for that. With that said, 79 days in, we finally have a winner for Survivor Syracuse Season 1, and I'll read the votes. First vote, Ava.
Because you're so weird.
Second vote, Jake. One vote Ava, one vote Jake, 7 votes left. Ava. Jake.
There's a snake on it.
2 votes Ava, 2 votes Jake, 5 votes left. Ava. Jake. 3 votes Ava, 3 votes Jake, 3 votes left. Ava. And the winner of Survivor Syracuse Season 1, Ava. Congratulations. Alright guys. But Ava, congrats. Jake, I thought Valley, you played a great game. I want to say that. Everyone played a great game. And thank you guys for everything. Hey guys, it's Luke Uriardi, host of Syrvivor Syracuse. I'd like to thank you guys again from the bottom of my heart, from all the support from episode 1 to now the finale. Really means a lot to me, the cast, the whole production crew, so thank you. You guys just saw it. Ava Travella, the first winner of Syrvivor Syracuse, sole survivor of Syrvivor Syracuse fans versus first. She had one of the biggest character developments I've ever seen, coming from crying at the second tribal council to winning the entire game, and she's taken things from the game that will help her out in everyday life. So congrats to Ava. Congrats to also Jake. Jake is a huge Survivor fan. You guys know him well. Jake had a great strategy, had loved this game to heart, put all the passion and energy into this game. And watch out, Survivor CBS, because Jake could be coming. Jake could be coming. With that said, thank you for the entire 17. I mean, Sean, Golden Boy, and Julia, the brains of the entire corporation. Valentina, the firework. What an amazing season. And that's just 3 people out of an entire cast of 17. That's just incredible. Seeing it from a Survivor fan standpoint just made my dream come true. Just seeing all of the vlogs that they sent in, little talks that they had within their groups, and editing that all together to form these episodes for you guys, just wow. Dream come true, made my entire college experience, to be honest. And thank you to the cast, film crew, and production crew for making this idea a reality. We really have a good Survivor community now in Syracuse, and everyone from season 1 is all together, a huge big family. We have a group chat, and it's amazing. So some notes: at 10 p.m. Eastern time, we'll be launching the jury votes that was happening during the finale, who they voted for and why they voted for them, so check that out. And next Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern time, we have the Survivor Syracuse Season 1 reunion show that we pre-recorded after the reading of the votes for the finale, so you'll see that while I ask some of the jury members and pre-merge members some questions. And in addition, we'll have a little teaser there for Season 2. We're filming this right now while we're in the finale part of Season 2, and Season 2 is, wow, you just wait. So we're not going to be gone for long after Thursday next week. We plan to be launching that hopefully fall 2020, but stay tuned to social media. So there's more things to come from Survivor Syracuse, and I can't wait to show you guys. So thank you guys, stay healthy, stay safe, and you'll be hearing more from us here at Survivor Syracuse.